Ever since I knew I was going to be reinventing myself, I have found signs of reinventing all around me, including pop culture. Today, I want to look at 3 famous movies or television shows with a character that reinvented themselves. Hi, my name is Amelia Sims. This is Reinventing You, where you can follow my journey to reinvent myself. I post on Tuesdays and Sundays. I'm glad you're joining me on this journey. I would love for you to comment if you know of a character or a show that talks about or shows reinventioning or reinventing. In other words, a character who transforms themselves into someone new in the course of the movie or the show. Today I have 3 characters that I think transform themselves, whether they had to or they chose to, during the course of the show or the movie. I think you've heard of at least one of these, but tell me what you think in the comments below. The first one is Luke Skywalker from Star Wars: A New Hope. I don't know if you remember the scene on Tatooine where he's talking to his aunt and uncle. He's talking about the new droids, and you can just see in his face and his attitude how unhappy Luke is. Luke feels called to get off the farm. He feels called to, I guess, basically go into the stars. And his uncle and aunt obviously are fighting this every step of the way. And as you know, Luke does eventually transform himself. Maybe you could say he has the help of a mentor, or even the Force could be a mentor that's leading him in. And I guess in a way he's sort of forced to do it. But I just wanted to focus on the unhappiness and the call that Luke has to be someone else and go somewhere else, to do something that he is not doing. That, to me, is part of reinventing yourself. The call, the unhappiness, the desire to improve yourself. The second one is Claire Beecham from the Outlander series. Now, this is also based on a series of novels by Diana Gabaldon. I have read all of the novels. The first one, if you haven't read them, the first one is the best. And if you follow the TV show pretty much follows the novels. Of course, there's a lot of things left out, and some things are sort of glossed over or not really explained as I think they could have been in the TV show, but it's a TV show. But the character Claire is forced to reinvent herself. She's sent back in time. She's a World War II nurse, or she was a World War II nurse. She's married to a scholar, and they're about to move down to Oxford. They're in Scotland for a sort of a, I guess, a new honeymoon, because they have been separated for several years because of the war. And she is caught up in sort of time travel and sent back to the 18th century. So Claire has to reinvent herself in terms of survival. And she does a great job. In fact, what happens in the first season of the show Outlander is going to impact Claire's life. She doesn't know it at this point, from now into the future. And if you are interested in following the series or reading the books, I do highly recommend them. The third character from a movie that reinvents herself is Tris from the Divergent movie. And this is the first movie where she actually chooses her new clan. And all 3 of these, I've chosen a scene where I've put a link at the top where you can follow along. And the one I've chosen for Tris, and the one I've chosen for the clip that I've chosen to show you about Tris shows her choice to be the first to jump. And I think I really like that because it really shows that Tris was not just choosing a new herself, she was choosing to transform herself. She was choosing to reinvent herself. And she was doing it with a great deal of courage. And I think that's a big part of reinventing yourself, is courage. And you can see it the way she does it. She takes charge and she does it first. She is determined to reinvent herself. Luke, Claire, and Tris are all 3, I think, individuals who reinvent themselves over the course of the story arc in either the movie or the show. I don't know if you agree with my I don't know if you agree with my feelings about that, but I really do. I think I see a lot of reinventing in pop culture now that I'm going through it myself. And so I just wanted to point out some characteristics. Luke, who was unhappy and felt called to do something else. Claire, who was forced to do something and yet did something that transformed her whole life. And then Tris, who made the decision to reinvent herself. As I said before, please leave comments below if you know of a character in pop culture that you think would be a good candidate for reinventing, or maybe you wish they would reinvent themselves. I appreciate you following along. I appreciate you leaving your comments. And don't forget to share these videos. If you know of somebody who is thinking about transforming themselves, or you think they need to reinvent their life, this might be a some good videos that you could show them. And you might also watch the whole movies and the shows that I recommended as well. My name is Amelia Sims, and this is Reinventing You. This is a vlog where, despite the thunder and rain outside, I'm still on a journey to reinvent myself. Have a good one.